are all the games have gone final now on Thursday, December 9th, and another really horrible night for the computer. Let's take a look here. I'm not going to go through these games. You probably know that Rutgers upset Purdue and Seton Hall beat Texas at home, and just unlikely, improbable things happen to attribute to it. But there's something wrong with the computer. But I happen to think it needs more data. I've seen this thing work when it's in full stride, and it's just a matter of getting more data in there. I'm not really concerned. I mean, I wish it was better right now, but I just know when this thing turns the corner, man, it's gonna be full speed ahead. These winning percentage is gonna be a lot higher than they are, but it's easy for me to say now. I got to prove it, and we're just going through some growing pains at the moment. But if you remember, we're doing a little scientific experiment here. So what you're seeing above the line up here is the traditional way that I've been doing the predictions, and we've been getting less than spectacular results. Tonight we go 4-9, which brings our season total. It's in here, I promise. Okay, we're 194 to 160, 194 wins, 161 losses, with 14 money line wins, which that's actually pretty cool. 54.65% is the winning percentage. So that has decreased over the past several days because we were up here at 77%. We went 17-5 on December 3rd and had a nice showing in this big day. It was a Saturday, followed up by another Sunday strong show, and then boom, boom. We just hit the cliff. We ran right in the mountain here. 4-7 tonight. Let's see. No, yeah, there was more games. I think we were 4-9 tonight. Anyways, I'll get that updated. And not looking great. While we're on this page, real quick, I've updated the rankings, and you can see Purdue coming in at number 5. I believe they were number 4 last night. But with that loss, it knocks them down a little bit. So we have LSU number 1, Houston number 2, Arizona 3, Baylor 4, and of course Purdue 5. Alabama moves up to 6. I think that helps that they beat Gonzaga. Well, obviously it's going to help, but really pushes them up. Providence number 7. I'm in full agreement with this. Providence is a monster this year. Boy, I tell you, they've got some strong numbers. I don't know if they're as strong as Villanova, who the other night was like deep into the top 20, and now they're up to number 8. So that's a computer recognizing it and reacting to Villanova. Gonzaga at number 9, Duke at number 10. So we're starting to get a little bit more accurate here. Duke should actually be higher than Gonzaga because they beat them head to head. But that loss to Ohio State's knocking them a little bit back, even though Ohio State is another monster. We do have them rated lower than Duke, but it's kind of pulling them back, where that Gonzaga one's trying to pull them forward. So you can see the computer isn't quite there yet, but we're getting real close. Wisconsin, I don't think anyone can argue they belong in the top 10. We got them on the outside here, knocking on the door, but they're going to be in this thing deep when this thing plays out. Kansas, Seton Hall moves up to 13. Now they've been kind of around the 2021 spot, but that win over Texas tonight moved them all the way up to 13. Texas Tech still holding strong. USC, Tennessee, and if you remember, these two teams played at a neutral court just the other night. Texas Tech and Tennessee played very close game, but Texas Tech did pull it out. So maybe that's a little representative of the real world. I liked it that it was at a neutral court. I'll get into the home court thing here in just a moment. So UConn at number 17, Xavier, Auburn, and Texas round out the top 20. You're going to have a hard time holding this team back. They're just itching to get in. And, of course, Michigan State deserves to be up there as well. But what about Iowa State tonight? Wow, there's a beatdown at Iowa. Big-time win for the Cyclones, man. I thought it would push them up a little bit more because the computer liked Iowa. Where is Iowa at? Let me take a look here. It's Iowa. Okay, so Iowa's down at 33. I think that's appropriate. Hope you can see that. Let me move that up. So Iowa's down to 23, and Iowa State's 10 slots ahead of them, which seems right just based on that outcome tonight. And man, throw in the factor that they were at Iowa. That is just huge, big, big, big deal. BYU, I think, should be higher. Washington State, I think, is too high. Virginia Tech, I'm kind of hot and cold on. They've had some poor outings, but then again, they've had some fantastic outings too. But I think they're about right, I suppose. Kentucky, UC Irvine just hasn't played many games. And it's been weeks since they played. So I don't know what to do with them. They're just sitting here at number 28. I don't think they're that high. Florida at 29, Ohio State at 30. Are you kidding me? Ohio State should be way ahead of Florida. I mean, you don't lose by 15 to Southern Utah or Southern University at home and stay above Ohio State. No. This is interesting. UCLA kind of, they were a preseason number one, I thought. They're down there at number 31. So we're gonna spend more time with those rankings once they solidify a little bit, but we're not quite there. I just like a little foreshadowing here. But watch these things; they will react, and when we get to the end of the year, and teams get eliminated. We're gonna start darking out those teams to show who's still alive, and you'll see the overwhelming majority of the teams that are still alive and headed to the tournament are going to be in the upper third of these rankings every year. It's without fail in every sport. This thing does that. Yeah, we went 4-9. I don't know why that isn't. I'll get that updated. 30.77. Now below the line here, what we did was we're starting to recognize that home court advantage is pretty significant in college basketball. And with that in mind, now the traditional way, it does take into consideration sort of obliquely a home court advantage. I do it in the overall power rating, which, these teams play home and away games. And ultimately over time, that gets factored in. But where we're at right now, it's not factoring in. And I think that's why we're doing so poorly. So now that the home court advantage is really, rearing its ugly head, I thought I'd take action here. And I started this experiment. What I have done down here is I've given the home, after the computer prediction, I go back and I give the home team 3 more points. I think that's a conservative way to start. Now, some teams have a greater than 3-point edge. Some of these big time programs, when they're at home, they get a 25,000 seat arena filled with people. Then other teams don't. So I don't know if that home court advantage still stands up, but you're still traveling. You're not sleeping in your same bed. When you're on the road, and after months of this, it does wear you down, and I can see it affecting your performance out on the court. Versus a team that hit the pillow in their own bed last night and had some home cooking, got to spend time with their girlfriends and buddies and stuff. Just better situation when you're at home, that's for sure. And I think it really plays out. So instead of 4-9, when we did this, we just simply gave the home team 3 points. We went 6-7. So that was a 2-point turnaround or 2-game turnaround just by simply giving each home team 3 points. So that was the first night of the experiment. We're going to continue it. So we're going to be making these selections the traditional way, if you will. And then we're going to run night number 2 of our science experiment here, and we're going to give the home team 3 points again. So look for that tomorrow night. We'll see how things go. Hopefully things will improve. But if I see this again, I think I'm already convinced in my mind that I want to go ahead and give them those artificial points, even though I hate it that it's artificial. But it is reality that we're dealing with here, and computer is not living in reality. Not yet. We may move back at some point. But I think, one night in, I'm starting to be convinced we need more data. So we're going to do it another night. And then Saturday, I'll have to make a decision. Depends on how things go tomorrow. Because Saturday's got, 100 plus games. So it'd be tough to go through and give each home team 3 points. It's very time consuming, but we'll see how that plays out. So that's where we're at for tonight. Nothing spectacular. In fact, pretty rotten, pretty disappointing. But hang with this thing because I've seen it work and it works great. I start looking at these teams and some of them only have like six finals. Other teams, there's a handful that are over 10, but just a handful, just like, half a dozen. Everyone else is still under 10 recorded finals. So is that enough? No, I don't think so, just based on looking at the results that we have here. So stick with this. It'll turn the corner. It'll start getting good, and we will becoming a resource to the gamblers out there that are just looking for another angle on the game. We'll provide that for them. So until then, this is a